and they define my leadership of my party and our country. They are why I believe so passionately in independence, because when decisions are taken in Scotland for Scotland, we can bring about a better country. They're also why I'm asking you to vote SNP in this election, to unite to bring about that better country that we all want to see. That starts by seeing the back of Rishi Sunak and his government. The challenger for every Tory seat in Scotland is the Scottish National Party. So by voting SNP, you can get rid of this Tory government. On the NHS, I don't know about you, but I'm alarmed at the language that is coming not just from the Tories, but from Labour at Westminster too. Very alarmed indeed. Whether that is talking about the NHS looking for excuses to ask for more money, picking fights with doctors, or questioning the very survival of the National Health Service. So I'm asking you to vote SNP to send a very clear message. Let's unite Scotland to protect the National Health Service. Our economy and on the cost of living, I know many of you feel that the economic system is broken. You're right. It's failed far too many people. That goes to the very core of why I believe in Scottish independence. At present, it is Westminster that holds most economic power over Scotland, and that power has been used disastrously. The Tories have imposed austerity, the catastrophic Liz Truss budget, and Brexit, of course, which compared to EU membership has wiped billions of pounds from the Scottish economy, pushed up prices and hit hard our ability to fund vital public services such as the National Health Service. Labour knows all of that, but Keir Starmer now supports Brexit, whatever the cost to Scotland. I don't think Scotland should put up with that anymore. So let's unite to get Scotland back into the European Union and to stop the damage of Brexit. With limited economic powers in Scotland, we've made a difference where we can. Economic growth per head has been higher here than in the UK as a whole. Productivity, the key driver of living standards, has also grown faster in Scotland since the SNP came to office at Holyrood. We've helped with the cost of living through measures such as free prescriptions, free bus travel for under 22s and all-day off-peak rail fares. That's what we can do when decisions are made in Scotland for Scotland. And looking across Europe, when we look at independent countries that are similar to Scotland, we find this. Compared to the UK, they have higher living standards, lower poverty, and they are more equal. So why not Scotland? We have the people, the talent and the resources. So let's unite to win the powers of independence to strengthen our economy, tackle the cost of living and bring about a fairer country. Independence, of course, is also fundamentally about democracy, about getting the governments you vote for. Sadly, we know the only guaranteed outcome of a Labour government is the Tory government that will follow it, and it usually lasts a lot longer. In an independent Scotland, never again will people here be subjected to an unelected Tory government. For those who are not persuaded of independence, I look forward over the next 6 weeks to listening to your concerns, making the case, hopefully persuading, but if not, then engaging in respectful dialogue. For those who are already persuaded, I can't stress enough how important it is to vote SNP on July the 4th. We will win our country's independence and win the powers to bring about a better Scotland through democratic pressure. So, on July the 4th, Independence Day, make sure your voice is heard. And on that issue of making Scotland's voice heard, the SNP will always fight to further Scotland's interests under any constitutional circumstances. Quite simply, we put Scotland first. I expect over the next 6 weeks we'll see the Tories and Labour really going at it. They'll be going hammer and tongs to discredit each other. I'll also be going hammer and tongs, but not against anyone. I'll be going hammer and tongs to put Scotland first. That's what SNP MPs always do at Westminster, putting Scotland first. We can't do anything else. It's in our DNA. We see Stephen Flynn and his SNP colleagues do that job every week with real passion and commitment. So let's unite to make Scotland's voice heard. The task is more important than ever before. In recent years, it's become clear that the gains of devolution can never be taken for granted. These are challenging times, not least because of the financial circumstances we face. But I believe the Scottish Parliament has made a real difference to people's lives. Scotland has had the best performing A&E core units in the UK for 9 years. We've more than doubled NHS funding and we have the highest number of GPs per head in the UK. On housing, since the SNP came to office, Scotland has seen over 40% more affordable homes delivered per head of population than in England and over 70% more than in Wales. When we took office, renewable technologies generated the equivalent of 20.2% of Scotland's gross electricity consumption. Since then, this has soared to 113%. The number of schools in good or satisfactory condition has increased from just over 60% to more than 90%. And we're seeing record levels of literacy and numeracy at primary school level. Recorded crime has fallen by around 40% to one of its lowest levels in half a century. And this year, using our limited social security powers, measures like the Scottish Child Payment are helping keep an estimated 100,000 children in Scotland out of relative poverty. But ever since Brexit, the Tories have chipped away at the powers of your Scottish Parliament. And we've demonstrated what we can do together when decisions about Scotland are made in Scotland. The Tories have made it harder for our Parliament to take decisions to protect the environment, and they're threatening our hard-won gains in policies. I have no idea where Labour stand on this and whether they will reverse the Tory power grab. So let's unite to protect our Scottish Parliament. I've directed all of my remarks so far to the people of Scotland, but I want to say a word specifically to SNP activists, members and supporters. If ever there was a time to get involved and make a difference, then this is it. Every election is an opportunity to move Scotland forward to a better future. In a UK election, the SNP faces particular challenges. So I need all of you to do whatever you can to advance our cause. I will never take anything for granted, but I've no doubt the SNP can win this election, and that's what I intend to do, to lead the SNP to victory in this election. Now, I've only been back in frontline politics for a month. I couldn't have imagined even 2 months ago standing here launching the SNP campaign for the 2024 general election. But I'm here because I knew I could unify my party. I'm 2 weeks in, and I've done that already. But more than that, I'm now your First Minister because I've got a wider mission to unify. I'm in the unity business for a purpose. To unite around a better way of doing politics. To unite Scotland to protect our National Health Service. To unite Scotland to strengthen our economy. To unite Scotland to eradicate child poverty. To unite Scotland to ensure Scotland's voice is heard. To unite Scotland for independence. Reaching out, listening, persuading. I'm relishing the opportunity to campaign across this modern, diverse, beautiful country. I can't, of course, make any promises about the outcome. That's for the voters to decide. But I can promise you this. The SNP will be fighting an energetic, optimistic campaign full of enthusiasm. A campaign infused with hope for a better future. I'll be leading that campaign from the front. I'll travel the length and breadth of Scotland, bringing that campaign of hope and unity. I can't wait to get started. Let's get out there and put Scotland first.